With so many people moving from out of state, we get a lot of comparison. Am I going to move to Texas? Am I going to move to Florida? Well, we are here to tell you why Texas is better.
Let's get started. I'm Annie Haven.
And I'm Holly Haven, and we're the Haven Home Team, your no-filter real estate team here in North Texas. And today we're going to talk about why Texas is better.
Then Florida, obviously.
It's better than everything, but today we're talking about why it's better than Florida. She's right. So let's talk about cost of living, because that's the number one thing I feel like people want to compare moving from out of state. Let's talk about the cost of living from Florida to Texas.
Yeah, so overall, the cost of living in Texas or in Florida compared to Texas is actually 10% higher on average. Everything is more expensive in Florida. Yes, you may only be 60 miles from the closest beach wherever you are in Florida, but it's also more expensive to live there.
So true. Things like property insurance is more expensive. Property taxes are the only thing where Texas lost out. Our property taxes are slightly higher than many parts of Florida, but that ranges greatly across the state as well.
Yeah, and that's something to consider. If you're debating between Florida and Texas, there's lots of pros and cons, but the basic is the cost of living. And on average, an average apartment in Florida based on an average apartment in Texas is about 16% higher.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy.
So, yeah, if you're just trying to move out of your parents' house after college, right? Can't do that in Florida. You can barely do it in Texas. The next thing we want to compare between Texas and Florida is the job market. So the job market themselves are pretty comparable from one to the other. But the benefit in Texas is we are a bit more diversified. Things like technology, healthcare, finance, and Florida relies on
tourism.
like, why not, right? You're going to go to the beach. You're going to go stay at a hotel. You're going to take a family vacation. So they definitely rely upon hospitality and tourism a bit more than Texas does. Texas is just more diversified, gives you more options. So depending on the industry that you work in, it might be a bit of a determining factor as to where you land in that decision.
Yeah, and Texas and Florida do not have an individual income tax, but Texas doesn't have a corporate income tax, and Florida does have a corporate income tax. So I think this does affect the diversification in corporate jobs, depending on the states as well.
Yeah, and Texas is doing a lot of things to bring in large headquarters, large corporations. So we have a lot of tax advantages to bring those companies to Texas to increase the job market and the opportunities for Texans. So we are going to say that Texas so far has won out on cost of living and on the job market. What's next? Weather.
Oh no,
We may not win on weather.
I think this might be the one con. So in Florida, there are some major concerns with weather, though. There are a lot of hurricanes. It's very humid, and there's lots of bugs.
There are lots of bugs. They're giant in Florida, guys.
Yeah, so based on the weather in Texas and Florida, I would say that Florida probably does win this category. Texas does seem to have a lot more tornadoes. We have a lot of hail. We have a lot of thunderstorms. A lot of people moving here are like, y'all have thunderstorms every single week. We're like, yes, we have lots of lightning, lots of thunderstorms. So that's something to consider as well. Florida is always just going to win for the best weather.
Yeah, unless you're not into hurricanes, and then, don't move to South Texas and don't move to Florida. But we are pretty similar in the way that we do, we have very mild winters unless you're in that panhandle part of Texas where it's going to look a little different. So again, guys, the great news about Texas is it's so large, you can just choose which part of Texas you want to be in based on the type of weather that you like, because we really do have a pretty broad range being the second largest state. Florida is a bit more uniform. They have less highs and lows, so they stay a little bit more temperate, which is nice.
And I mean, if you want to live next to a beach, Florida does have some of the most beautiful beaches in the U.S., so I could see why you may want to live there for the beaches.
I say just buy a second home there for the beaches, rent it out, make it an investment property, and then go enjoy when your family wants to go on vacation.
Open your corporate job in Texas, live half-time in Florida. It seems great.
Just vacation in Florida. So far, I've decided that I want to live in Texas and vacation in Florida. That's what it looks like to me.
Perfect.
If we start to talk about culture and lifestyle, how would we compare the two?
Yeah, so I would say that Florida has a way more relaxed lifestyle than Texas does. I do think they're a little less hippity-hoppity. Like, we're always moving around in Texas. We're very fast-paced. Florida is a very slow atmosphere. They are a lot more culturally diverse, in my opinion, just because they have people moving from all over. If you look at Miami, Miami's the melting pot. So that is what I consider when I think of culturally diverse. That's Florida for sure.
Yeah, so Florida, you're getting that vacation-like atmosphere where, I feel like you can live in Florida and feel like you're on vacation. And, there's certain neighborhoods and areas of Texas that you can definitely get that same vibe, but you have to seek it out a little bit more.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I do think a pro of living in Florida would be all the different types of cuisine. Florida is very, very diverse in their cuisine. So if you're somebody who loves all the tastes of the world, Florida might be perfect for you.
Absolutely. But I'm still going to say I think Texas is better because we're native Texans, guys. We love the culture and the lifestyle here. And something that we hear a lot from clients moving to Texas from out of state is they really, you've always heard that Texans are just so nice. They're so welcoming. And I'm going to tell you that is feedback I get daily from my out-of-state clients. They say how much they love it here, how friendly people are. People will talk to you in the grocery store line. They're making friends, everywhere they go, especially in a neighborhood that is really developed with community in mind. You can move in to any of these neighborhoods. We have several that we would highly recommend if you're moving to North Texas. So shameless plug, reach out, drop us a comment, ask us some questions about those because we can definitely help guide you to the neighborhoods where you're going to feel like you and your family have lived here forever.
Yeah, for sure. I do think that's a pro of Texas. I will say people in Florida are very friendly, but Texas is kind of one of those things where it's just a culture. The whole state is just welcoming and friendly, and we have things that we do differently here, and we don't drive slow on the highways like people in Florida.
No, guys, this is like the Autobahn state. So put the pedal to the metal, stay out of the left lane unless you're going super fast. But yeah, culture and lifestyle. I'm going to give Texas the win again just because I'm a super Texas fan, being a native. And quick question. We want you guys to drop your thoughts below. Lone Star State or the Sunshine State? Which one would be best for you?
It seems based off of what we just went over that Texas does win 3 out of 4 categories. So if you think that Florida wins in those categories, let us know down below. We hope you'll have a great rest of your day, and we hope you move to Texas.
Like, subscribe, and comment. Let's chat soon.
Bye, guys.